Good Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. We're going to be taking about a 15-minute look at the weather here, especially as we head towards the weekend. We do have a weather packed alert in place for the weekend, as we're expecting to see possibly some ice move into the area and stick around for a little while before it finally melts as we head towards, it looks like, maybe as late as Monday. We'll have to wait and see. Some of the numbers coming in on some of the computer models indicating possibility of some ice building up across the area. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. Numbers change constantly as the computer models run each day. Once we get towards about Thursday, I think or so, we'll get a better idea of what we're looking at. But right now, numbers are kind of back and forth. Amount of precipitation coming far south, going back north, kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit. We'll explain it all for you here in the next 15 minutes. Let's get into the weather. First, let's take a look at the next day or two. For today, not a bad day. We see mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy out there. 64, 65 for a high. We'll be back into the 50s for later on this evening and through 10 o'clock, and lower 50s and some upper 40s as we head towards tomorrow morning. Quick look at the allergy report. Low on mold, trees medium, and then weeding grass is at 0 right now. As we take a look outside, have some high level clouds, but not really a bad afternoon. Enjoy it. Temperature downtown at Packer-LaPrade already showing about 60 degrees, humidity at 58%, east winds at about, say, 5 to 10 miles per hour on our Roofing 911 live Skycam network. And once again, this is from Packer-LaPrade as we look at the Beaumont skyline. 12 News Studio here, Mid-County Plumbing brought you this camera, our Roofing 911 live Skycam network. Once again, showing just some high level clouds kind of moving across the area as we see dry conditions out there. We'll see dry conditions through this afternoon, but we'll bring in chances of rain as we head towards tomorrow. Just some scattered rain as we head towards tomorrow. Temperatures right now already starting to see 60s out there, all the way from Kirbyville at 60 to 61 in Silsbee, Beaumont, Orange at 61, both Beaumont and Orange at 61, 62 in Port Arthur. Woodville's at 58 and Jasper currently at about 57. We have a front that's kind of pushing down through the area. South of that, we're seeing some of those 60s, and then north of that, it gets a little bit cooler. But you can see along that front, we're seeing some of these high level clouds kind of skirt in through the area. High pressure trying to build in and move out some of these clouds, and it's thinning out some of the clouds here and there. Like I said, this front will wash out. It's not a very strong front. Once it moves out of here, we'll open the door to some rain that's going to be pushing in here as we head towards maybe a few showers towards tomorrow morning, and then we'll see scattered showers as we go into your Wednesday. Real quick look around the rest of the country. Pretty quiet, not much going on. There are some lake effect snows up towards western parts of New York. Most of the East Coast is quiet. West Coast is pretty quiet, and then we see some snow flurries up towards the northern Rockies. As you can see, some winter weather advisories there, and then you can definitely see some of those clouds moving across the state of Texas. Our futurecast for today, we'll see numbers climbing up into the middle 60s for this afternoon with some of these clouds moving through the area, and then as we get into the overnight hours, we're expecting temperatures to drop off into the lower 50s. I'm thinking maybe a few upper 40s towards the lakes area, and futurecast I think overdoes it a little bit on the rain through the overnight. But as we get into tomorrow, it does show some scattered showers through the day for tomorrow. We could pick up a half an inch, maybe some places an inch of rain, which would be very beneficial. We're very dry out there. There is a burn ban in effect for Newton County through the next 7 days or so. So some rainfall would be a good thing to come through the area, and we're going to get some of that for tomorrow. Once again, temperature is going to be in the 60s. So it's just going to be rain tomorrow, going to be wet at times during the day. So take that into account if you have any outdoor plans going on. Now, towards the weekend, it's going to be a different story. We have a winter remix possible for this weekend. And right now, it's showing, some of the computer models showing that we could see maybe some freezing rain or sleet as early as the daytime hours on Saturday. Once we get into Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's probably a better chance of maybe seeing some of that activity come all the way down in towards the triangle here. So something we're going to be watching for. As far as the impacts, really too early to tell exactly how much freezing rain we could get out of this. Of course, the more freezing rain, the bigger impacts as far as power lines, also tree limbs and things like that, and roadways. So we're still watching some of the numbers come in. Some of the numbers are a little crazy, over a half an inch, and if that accumulates, could be some big problems. Now, up in North Texas, they will see some big accumulations, it looks like. So I would not travel to North Texas. If you have travel plans to, say, Tyler, Dallas for this weekend, if you don't have to go, don't go. It looks like it's going to be treacherous up there as far as any type of travel along I-20, I-30. Going to be big problems in North Texas as far as some of this ice and maybe even some snow up towards the Red River. So not looking good, especially up towards northern parts of Texas as we head towards this weekend. If you have to get up there, I would go early, maybe Friday, and then just park yourself there through the weekend and wait till maybe early next week before you get back. But Saturday, Sunday, not looking good there. And like I said, some of this could come down into southeast Texas here as far as the lakes. Right now, the lakes area looks like we have a pretty good chance of seeing some freezing rain and sleet. As far as the accumulation, maybe some of that freezing rain and the impacts, like I said, still up in the air. As we get towards Thursday, we'll have a little bit better idea there. And then as far as the triangle is concerned, looks like some of that could come down here as well. Of course, the closer to the coast you get, probably the less of the impact we're going to see. But definitely North Texas is under the gun here over the weekend. And just download the 12 News app. Keep abreast of what's going on for the weekend, especially if you have any plans to be out and about for the weekend. You want to keep abreast of what's going to be happening for this weekend. The 12 News app will give you latest watches and warnings or whatever we have going on for this weekend, and we'll keep updating the forecast, of course, a couple of times a day. Here's one of the computer models that we look at as far as trying to determine how far maybe this mix is going to come down into southeast Texas, and this is the American model, the GFS model. It shows that mix all the way down almost towards the coast as we head towards, this is Saturday night at 10 o'clock. There's other computer models that keep it a little bit farther to the north, doesn't quite make it down here into the triangle, but there are more than one model that brings it down towards the coast here. So that's why we're thinking probably a pretty good bet that we're going to see some freezing rain and ice in the lakes area, and then maybe some of that coming down here to the triangle as we head towards Saturday late in the day and then Saturday night. These are some of the numbers that we're looking at as we head towards, say, 10 o'clock for Saturday night. Temperatures into the lower 30s, and we'll see some 20s as well. So we'll have to wait and see. This area of Arctic air is coming in is going to be very shallow, so that's why we're going to see freezing rain. We're going to see just a very shallow layer of air. So it comes down as rain, and then as it gets down to that shallow cold air at the surface, it changes over to freezing rain. So that's why we'll see that instead of likely snow or something like that. Maybe a little bit of sleet, but generally it's going to be, it looks like a freezing rain coming in. All right, our forecast for the coast for today: east winds at 10 to 15 knots, seas from 2 to 3 feet. Next high tide is 5:25 for tonight. Sunrise was at 7:11, or sunsets at 5:43. Right now, Texas Point east winds at 13 to 14 with water temperatures there into the lower 60s. So I want to show you the forecast for today. Just variable clouds, a lot of those high level clouds out there. Southeasterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll see temperatures into the lower to middle 60s for later on this afternoon. So really not bad. Get out and enjoy it if you can, or maybe get out and make some preparations as we have that cold and maybe icy weather moving in for the weekend. And then as we head towards tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Really no rain expected. There could be a little bit of light rain trying to push in here by tomorrow morning with that next storm system bringing us rain on Wednesday. But we should stay fairly dry overnight. It looks like southeasterly winds at about 3 to 8 with temperatures in the upper 40s, just up towards the extreme area up in the lakes. And then most of the area will be in the lower 50s with the cloud cover moving in as we go through the overnight into tomorrow. 7-day forecast showing tomorrow we'll get up to around 68. So the scattered showers out there will just be rain. Not expecting any severe weather, any thunderstorms really, just rain scattered throughout the area on Wednesday. Thursday, maybe a little bit of rain that lingers into the morning hours there. Most of Thursday looks like it's going to be fairly dry at 67. And then our Arctic front starts to push in our direction as we head into Friday. Out ahead of it, we could see a little bit of rain Friday night as the front starts to push through. And then as we get into your weekend, that's when we'll feel the cold Arctic air behind the front. We'll start off about 49. This is going to be about midnight or so on Saturday, and then temperatures falling back into the 30s as we get into the afternoon. Like I said, that's going to be a really shallow layer of air. So as the rain comes down, it could be freezing once it gets down towards the ground as we get towards Saturday night in the triangle. Like I said, up in the lakes area, this could be happening during the day on Saturday. So something we're going to watch out for. 70% coverage, so a lot of folks will see at least some type of precipitation. Once again, it could be freezing rain to sleet or just maybe some rain, especially down, say, south of I-10. Now's the time to maybe get yourself prepared for that. You've got today, it looks like all the way through Friday, we'll see temperatures in the 60s. So If you don't have pipes wrapped up, you're going to need to do that. As you can see, Monday morning, we'll be looking temperatures down there into the middle 20s, lower 20s for the lake. So that's a hard freeze. And we'll be below freezing for a long time, late Saturday night into Sunday morning. So really another hard freeze there Sunday morning. So I would make sure those pipes are wrapped up. If you haven't done that, we haven't seen too much in the way of cold weather so far this winter, but make sure those pipes taken care of. Of course, make sure your pets are taken care of. Make sure they have a good place to stay warm. We're talking about really 3 days here. Some pretty cold weather is going to be lingering through the area, and then you add on top of that maybe some ice forming. Make sure those pets have a good place to be. Also, make sure you take care of your plants. Make sure those are brought in. Make sure they might be covered up. I would be doing that at the latest on Friday, because we'll see that cold weather through the weekend. And then make sure your neighbors have a good heater somewhere to stay warm for this weekend. Also, you might want to make sure, especially in the lakes area, you might have your generator is ready to go. It's gassed up and everything like that. If we do get some accumulating ice on power lines, tree limbs, things like that, we could see some power outages up towards the lakes area. It's a possibility. I'm not going to say it's happening, but it's a possibility if we get accumulation of some of this ice. So if you have a generator, make sure those are taken care of. Might want to go out and stock up on some food. I would not, if I were you, I would not be out driving around trying to go some different places as we head towards Saturday, especially Saturday night into early on Sunday, as we could, once again, if we get that ice to start to accumulating, bridges and overpasses are going to be tricky, and we get cold enough, some of the roadways could be a little bit tricky as well. And like I said, could be a big problem out there for the weekend. So just prepare yourself for this upcoming weekend and the wintry type weather that we could see across the area. Take those 4 Ps and protect yourself out there. Now, like I said, Monday morning will be some of the coldest air we see. We're going to be dropping down into the middle 20s. That means lower 20s up towards the lakes area. And then by Monday afternoon, hopefully we'll clear things out a little bit enough that we'll see temperatures rising up into the 40s, and that should start to melt anything that develops across the area. But if we see some decent amount of ice, it's going to be hard to get up into those 40s as we get into Monday if that stuff's still lingering around. So big question mark this weekend. Like I said, how much is going to fall, where it's going to fall. Right now it looks like a pretty good chance, if not a safe bet, that the lakes area is going to see some icing, and then as we head towards the triangle here, we could see a little bit as well. So something we're going to be watching out for in our 7-day forecast. So just stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on what's going on as far as weather conditions. They will be changing over the next couple of days. Once we get to about Thursday, things will look a little bit more clear. Hopefully the computer models will come more in line on what we're expecting to get as we head towards this weekend. So something we'll be, like I said, looking out for and watching out for as we head towards this weekend, and keeping an eye on things. So just be aware that there will be some changing weather as we head towards the weekend, and be ready for that. Once again, we'll go over the weather impact alert, and we're looking at Saturday into Saturday night into Sunday morning. Could see some freezing rain, maybe some sleet across the area. The impact right now, too early to tell as far as the amounts, and that's really going to be the key, how much we get. The heavier rains will end up being producing maybe some more freezing rain and some ice buildup. Lighter rains, of course, less of an impact, of course. And just stay tuned, keep an eye on the weather, keep weather aware as we go through the next few days. We've got temperatures in the 60s through Friday, so gives you a chance to prepare for this weekend. Like I said, maybe stock up a little bit, make sure your generators are working, and make sure you are taking care of those 4 Ps